We're a motorcycle display team, and this is another episode of 1001 LPs you should listen to before you die. This week, on Monday, we listened to Laser Guided Melodies by Spiritualized, which came out in 1992, and you can see from Morgan's face what we all thought of this.
I can't wait for this one.
Oh, it's just dog shit, and it's just fucking wallpaper, that album.
Fucking elevator music or lift music, or
it's worse than that. I've got a real bugbear with Spiritualized. The number of people who are like, genius band. What? I don't get it. It just doesn't go anywhere. There's a bit in the last song, it's 200 bars, and he says, I'm going to lose myself, I'm going to lose my thoughts in 200 bars. I'm like, fucking no shit.
Yeah, even the first track off this album, the note I wrote for it was, I'd be impressed if my kid wrote this. Thank God I haven't got kids.
Somebody was telling me that they shoplifted Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. And that, if you remember, it came in a silver sort of foily wrapper. It was quite sharp on the jagged edge. He said he cut his nipple on the thing because he shoved it under his t-shirt and it sliced his nipple. So, that's the best thing you can get out of Spiritualized.
That's
you're fucking rock and roll there now. That is.
Track 4, Run. Opening riff made a promise it couldn't keep. Should have been called Jog. It was that sort of shit. It was that sort of shit that I wrote down about it. His voice reminded me a bit like of Ian Brown, but boring. Like I thought Ian Brown was the boring Ian Brown, but he's not.
I gave this a 3.
I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 2 for the fact that it was too boring to be truly awful.
Yeah. Apocalypse 91, The Enemy Strikes Black by Public Enemy.
Flavor Flav, boy!
Yeah!
Boy!
I really like this. Not their best album. I'm a big Public Enemy fan anyway, so I knew this coming into it. The first half of this album I think is great. Second half, not so great. But what fucking makes it brilliant is the collaboration with Anthrax, Bring the Noise. Still sounds fucking magic.
Do you know what, Margaret? I've written down about this album. Unlike a lot of the albums we've listened to, it's actually got better as it went along. The last track with Anthrax was Pony, though. And this didn't really get going until like track 3. Track 8, Move, is the best track on the album for me.
I quite like Chuck D's booming voice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this was cool. Early hip-hop vibe. It still feels like there's something there. I didn't make any notes about it, just enjoyed it, and I gave it a 6.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 6 as well.
Okay, as I said, not their best, but still, you know, as albums go, this is good. So I like. Next,
right?
Fuck me, Pink. KD fucking Lang, Shadowland.
Woo!
The track listing looks like somebody invented a Tony Bennett album generator app.
That's steel.
Yeah.
As soon as it starts, she's like, oh.
Do you know what though? I couldn't hate that first track. I just thought I like the lap steel, I like the sort of 3-part harmonies and all the rest of it. But Jesus Christ, it got boring after a while.
Oh, boring after a while. After the fucking God.
I was desperate to give it a go. I was desperate for it to be like not shit. I think maybe it's because it's like the first proper country album that we encountered, and I quite like country music.
I never had her down as a country artist.
I know country music, and I know who was big around there and the whole lot. And this just was generic shit. There was nothing unique about this. Then you hear it's won Grammys and sold millions. It's like, what the fuck?
It was bad, but it wasn't awful. It was just
shit.
It's just a bit boring. And the thing is about the slide guitar, it's so sweet. It sounds either really kitsch or really depressing, or maybe both. But it just kind of sounds like a bit like a joke, or like it's a setup for a scene.
Right.
Okay.
KD 1.
A 1, the first one so far. Even better than Spiritualized.
I gave KD a 3.
I actually gave it a 4. It wasn't as bad as Spiritualized.
I was gonna give it a 4, but then I hate the fucking word medley, so I took 1 point.
Oh yeah.
No, the only people that should have medley on their fucking albums are Jive Bunny.
Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Right, this is the 4th album we listened to this week. It was called Evol by Sonic Youth. Came out in 1986.
Quite liked it. I quite liked it. Made a note of the stuff that I didn't like. So, I mean, that's a good sign, right? Was it In the Kingdom 19 and Marilyn Moore? Yeah, it sounded a little bit too industrial, got a little bit boring.
Yeah, they do like to drag out some of their guitar tones and lines, and it's just that's their art, man.
Yeah, there was a song on there called Green Light that I really, really liked.
I've got one note on this album. It says, 15-year-old me would have thought I was the coolest in school if I owned this. I like the way that it's sort of odd and spooky, and I like that about their stuff in general.
I found that it was really cinematic and really atmospheric as well. Like it really put you in a mood, or it put you in a mind for something.
Right. What did we give EVOL?
I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 7 too.
Oh, sorry, lads. I gave it a 5.
Yeah, that was that. So, okay, the next one, the fucking masterpiece of an album. The Jimi Hendrix Experience, Electric Lady.
Have you ever...
This is an awesome album. It's epic. I mean, it's Jimi Hendrix, isn't it?
Have you watched the Classic Albums episode on this?
No.
Brian Jones came in and did piano on all the Watchtower, and it was then taken off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Well,
He's not a pianist. I was only having a laugh, lads.
Hey, let this crazy cat in. You know the do-do-do-do-do-do. That's with a comb and a piece of paper.
Homemade kazoo.
There's 2 different sleeves for this. It's the one with Jimi Hendrix's kind of face as red, but the other one that was released in the UK is a load
Wizard sleeve.
All naked women.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen this cover.
Yeah, you should Google it. I have it on vinyl. I was down in Greenwich one day and I got it for 30 quid. But one of my favorite facts about it was when it went to get pressed at first, whoever's lined up the thing for the label, they worded it wrong and it was Electric Landlady. Yeah, the lady that I pay my rent to was electric. Yeah.
I mean, it's got All Along the Watchtower in it.
But like even the songs in the middle of it, because you know you start and then you have that Merman should or fucking the night I was born, Voodoo Child, actual Voodoo Child, and you have all these brilliant fucking songs, like pop songs in the middle. This is the one thing Hendrix always gets credit for guitar playing and innovate. Well, and all that's brilliant as well, but no one ever really talks about how cool of a fucking songwriter he was. Like they are all proper tunes on this.
Yeah,
but it's the songs within it, like that. Fucking Gypsy Eyes, Long Hot Summer Night, Burning of the Midnight Lamp.
Yeah.
All of them.
Again, All Along the Watchtower is possibly one of my favourite songs of all time.
Greatest cover of all time?
In my book, it is the greatest cover of all time.
But Stevie Wonder did this album as well. Voodoo Child did the organ. Like, that's all a live jam. They just recorded that, like that 15-minute song. Okay.
What did you give it?
10, full marks. 10, 10, 10. Absolute masterpiece.
He gave it 30. What did you give it?
I gave it a 10 as well.
I gave this a 7. I thought it was good. I probably would have voted it higher if I'd listened to it a bit more. So that is the end of this week. And to round up, that means our top scoring album must be this one, Electric Ladyland, with 27 points out of a possible 30. And that's all we've got time for this week. We will join you again next week where we'll be talking about another 5 pieces art.